Guys, check out this oil filter myth and the best Napa filter, gold, silver, or platinum. We'll compare them all in a side-by-side comparison. Not to mention, we'll show all the specifications on a comparison on our whiteboard. Well guys, you're not going to believe this one. First, let's check this out. You see the base plate on the left? It's a Napa silver. The one in the middle was the Napa gold. This silver has some rust on it, but this isn't the problem at all. We'll get to that in just a moment. As you can see, these are the filters that we're using for comparison. Now on the silver anti-drainback valve on the left, we have a natural rubber anti-drainback valve, so not the highest quality, but they get the job done. The gold and the platinum both use silicone anti-drainback valves, so pretty good quality here. Now let's go ahead and move on. Let's get through this part of it. Well, just coil springs are used. These are the best choice, better than the stamped piece of steel used for all three. Now we'll move on to the filter media so we can get into the good parts. You can see the gold on the right and the silver on the left are pretty equal, except the gold's just a little bit smaller. You can see a bypass valve on the bottom for the silver. There is no bypass valve for the gold on the right side, but we're going to show you something really funny about that one, and a myth that people really think is completely true. Now, you can see a big difference in this platinum filter on the right in comparison with the silver. The filter media, well, made of different materials, and we'll show you just what kind they're made out of. There's quite a bit of difference. Y'all not gonna believe this one. Many people actually believe, as you can see with this, that this valve is actually stopping contaminants when the oil is used for bypass. Now you can see this small area inside the filter cartridge, and that's where the oil passes through. Now let's go ahead, and you can see there's no bypass valve on the bottom, but on the top there is a bypass valve. This is where the oil enters the filter around. Now you can see this big gap here, and this big gap, you also notice that the oil goes through that filter media. If it can't, it would typically go through the bottom of this filter where the bypass valve would typically be, causing the oil to go past it and bring some of the contaminants back through the system. When there's really cold temperatures, sometimes this happens. Now, on the other hand, what happens is when you're using a valve like this, people generally think because it's going in through the top, there's no contaminants. However, if you look a little bit closer, when you look at this valve, you'll notice there's a big space in between it and the top of the base plate, or should I say the bottom of the base plate. And this allows contaminants to get in because there's a spring inside this one, and what happens is it builds up pressure, and that pressure circulates the oil inside the canister. You see the bypass valve on the bottom? Now yes, the bypass valve on the bottom could possibly bring in more contaminants because it's going directly across, but it's like taking a bucket and filling it up to the top and then thinking you're going to get out any water from it when you just dumped in dirt. Now look, Napa Platinum versus Gold versus Silver. Here's the brands lined up in categories. The cost, we have $12.99 for the Platinum. Gold, $8.99. Silver, $5.99. Oil change interval mileage, 7,500 miles, or the manufacturer's suggestion. Same for the Gold, 7,500 miles, or manufacturer's suggestion for oil change interval mileage. Now the Silver is typically used with conventional oil and 5,000 miles. Well, you may not want to use that one in a synthetic. It might not be worth your money. Filter media is made of synthetic for the Platinum, cellulose materials for the Gold, cellulose materials for the Silver, which are lower quality, micron rating 35 microns, 20 microns for the Gold, 20 microns for the Silver, 99% efficiency for the Platinum, and 96% efficiency for the Gold. Silver, 96% efficiency. Guys, what do you think? Is there anything you can tell us about oil filters? And here's some sources. Thanks for watching Nate's Interactive Auto.